Audio/music cue. Deep orchestral swell, slow intense. Audio/music cue. Tense, slow burn electronic music begins. Narrator VO. This isn't just money. It is the single most powerful financial instrument ever created. It dictates global trade, finances wars, and decides the fate of nations. Narrator VO. For decades, the US dollar has stood at the center of the world's economy, a silent, invisible monarch. But how did a simple green piece of paper amass such unstoppable power? Narrator VO. It's the medium of exchange for nearly every major commodity, from metals to grain, and crucially, oil. This is the story of how the US dollar achieved and maintains its supreme global hegemony. Audio/music cue. Music shifts to historical, authoritative orchestral tone. Narrator VO. Our story begins in the aftermath of global conflict, 1944. The world needed order and stability. Narrator VO. In the small town of Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, leaders gathered to design a new global financial architecture. The goal: prevent future economic chaos. Narrator VO. The solution established the US dollar as the world's primary reserve currency, backed by gold at $35 an ounce. The world trusted America's immense gold reserves, and the dollar officially became king. Audio/music cue. Music becomes more agitated and suspenseful. Narrator VO. But trust, especially in high finance, is fragile. 2 decades later, the system was crumbling under the weight of US spending. Narrator VO. Nations began to doubt. They started redeeming their dollars for gold, draining Fort Knox. In response, on a Sunday night in August 1971, President Richard Nixon made a catastrophic announcement. Narrator VO. He unilaterally severed the link between the dollar and gold. This was the Nixon shock, changing the global financial rulebook overnight. The gold standard was dead. The dollar was now simply fiat currency. Audio/music cue. Music shifts to a mysterious geopolitical tone. Narrator VO. With the dollar unanchored, the US needed a new foundation for its global supremacy. It found one in the dirtiest, most crucial commodity on earth: oil. Narrator VO. In 1974, a secret deal was struck with Saudi Arabia, the world's largest oil producer. They would price their oil and compel OPEC nations to price their oil exclusively in US dollars. Narrator VO. This monumental agreement birthed the Petrodollar system. Suddenly, every nation, whether they liked the US or not, needed vast reserves of dollars just to keep their lights on and their cars running. Narrator VO. The demand for the dollar became synthetic, mandatory, and endless. This forced the world to effectively fund the American debt, pay for its military, and accept its financial dominance. Audio/music cue. Music becomes sharp, fast-paced, and dramatic. Narrator VO. The power of the dollar is not just economic, it is geopolitical. The US realized its financial network was the ultimate superweapon. Narrator VO. By controlling the flow of dollars through the international banking system, the US can impose crippling sanctions, effectively locking out rivals from global commerce. Narrator VO. Freezing assets, shutting down access to US banks. These are acts of financial warfare that bypass armies and treaties. The dollar is the hammer, and the world is the nail. Audio/music cue. Music slows, becoming pensive and reflective. Narrator VO. But nothing lasts forever. Today, the dollar hegemony faces its most serious challenges yet. Narrator VO. Nations like the BRICS coalition are actively seeking alternatives, pursuing de-dollarization through bilateral trade agreements and non-Western payment systems. At the same time, the rise of digital currencies threatens to bypass traditional banking entirely. Narrator VO. The global financial landscape is shifting, moving away from a singular center of power. The dollar's dominance is less absolute than it once was. Audio/music cue. Final, lingering orchestral note. Narrator VO. Can the world's most powerful currency maintain its reign? Or are we witnessing the beginning of the end of the dollar hegemony?